There are some stories that come round and round and round again. And just like the roundabouts for which it's famous, it's not the first time we've heard about the success of Milton Keynes. In 1967, under the utopian direction of the urban planners, this post-war new town was born. Expansion was rapid. More than 250,000 now live here.
Basically, when we first started building, we were building houses for Londoners who were being brought out from pretty bad housing conditions.
And that was the idea. New towns were supposed to be part of solving that problem, but by doing it, planning it, thinking about it on a regional basis.
And it therefore benefited from a whole period of learning from the new towns that had preceded it, and that's really evident in the way it was designed and master planned.
New town development corporations were set up under the New Towns Act in 1946 as government bodies to build new towns.
And so they did the plan, and they came up with these 2 green books, the plan of Milton Keynes, within which were these very clear goals.
The 6 goals: opportunity and freedom of choice, easy movement and access and good communications, balance and variety, an attractive city, public awareness and participation, and the 6 inefficient and imaginative use of resources.
What is not widely known is that 2 years before they were appointed, Llewellyn Davies had prepared a master plan for Washington Newtown, and that plan is remarkably similar to the plan for Milton Keynes. So you could say that Llewellyn Davies were strongly wedded to the grid road structure. John Campbell knew that was the case and appointed them accordingly. Llewellyn Davies were appointed. They started work in September 1967, and the plan was finished and published in March 1970.
We have to design a system of open-edged networks, because there will be infinite patterns in the way people go about their lives, and they will change week by week, season by season, and as they go through the years. That was profoundly good observation. It sounds so obvious now. It was picked up by the master planners, and it was a very intelligent way of thinking about designing a city.
What mattered was you could have community not just by being close to each other, but also by stretching networks and so on. And that's actually quite important, I think, in ways of thinking about today in some respects, because I don't think community can be reduced to place.
The important thing really is that Milton Keynes, although we're concerned about the beautiful buildings and the design that goes into it, essentially it's about people and not about planners or architects or economists or accountants. It's about freedom of choice, about leaving options open. We don't think that we've got any crystal ball that tells us what people's social and economic aspirations are going to be during the next 20 years or so.
The skeleton of the city was a grid system of roads, like LA or San Francisco, but without traffic lights to slow you down. Spread over 90 square kilometers, each 1 kilometer square was filled in like a giant bingo card with the ingredients for a perfect society: a school, a doctor's surgery, a smattering of industry. The housing estates would be set in wide open spaces where, according to the master plan, no building would be taller than the tallest tree. Hidden among trees and spread thinly over a wide area, Milton Keynes doesn't look like anywhere else in the country. In fact, from ground level at least, you can't really get a good perspective on it. The city has more than 22 million trees. Every new family was given one to plant in their garden. Today, the city within a forest, as the master plan describes it, is home to a greater variety of birds than when it was farmland. Quite an achievement for the architects of this utopian vision. There are no fewer than 300 roundabouts in Milton Keynes. Far more than most other cities in the country. You know, I've calculated that people in MK spend 5% of their lives driving around roundabouts. Not everything has been quite so successful. Some of those bold modernist housing estates have experienced problems as a result of their avant-garde designs. Many have needed modifications and repairs, and some are even facing redevelopment.
It's a mass production housing job by a prestige firm of architects, Foster Associates, and from the outside I don't like it much, but inside I found these houses spacious and comfortable. Netherfield too has that uniformity which most people find hard to take about modern architecture. But what's it like to live there, especially if you've come from a rundown flat in London?
It's not too bad amenities-wise, but housing I don't like. Well, it's cold. It's very hard to heat with it being 3 floors, so it works out expensive that way. But during the summer, it's nice.
The house itself and the surroundings are really marvellous. I do not wish to go back to London at all. It was so lovely to walk in from room to room and not be crowded into one little space. I have every convenience here, a lovely bathroom, 2 toilets, which I never had in Fulham. I used to have to go to Fulham Baths to have a bath because the bath was so bad in London.